So I'm hearing from people that they are complaining. They're upset. They think that Bernie Sanders going to the Vatican, he was invited, by the way, he didn't invite himself, that Bernie Sanders going to the Vatican to participate in this conference on global income inequality, which is the very foundation of his campaign and his life's work, that this is somehow him grandstanding, that he's doing this for political reasons. Do you think that's true? Do you think that Bernie Sanders is went to the Vatican? He's, it's over now, but he went to the Vatican. Do you think he did that for political reasons? Do you think that the Vatican, not the Pope, but other people within the Vatican, do you think he was invited in order to make it political? I don't think so at all. They happen to be having this conference. He is a person who speaks on this. He's an expert on this. He's an eloquent speaker on this. And it seems to me that it just makes sense. The other thing that I find really bizarre is that there are people who are complaining about Bernie and his staff members who accompanied him and his family who accompanied him. Apparently they flew in some sort of a private jet, and this is a big damn deal. Really? Sometimes I just think people are picking nits here. If you've got a real complaint about Bernie Sanders, bring it on. But that seems to me like it is, it's absolutely picking nits. They're trying to find something because Hillary has some skeletons in her closet. And while I understand that she has faced a lot of charges, and some of them extremely unfair charges, from the Republican Party in the past, some of the questions and some of the skeletons that she has are things that need to be unearthed, are things that people need to understand about Hillary Clinton before they cast their votes. The things that she has advocated for in the past, for example. And if you put her record up against Bernie Sanders' records in terms of their advocacy, you're going to notice a glaring difference. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. There's nothing wrong with bringing up the things that Bernie Sanders has done. But then let's do the comparison. Let's do the old Ben Franklin close. Take your sheet of paper and divide it in two, fold your paper in half, put Hillary on one side and Bernie on the other, and do these comparisons and make them apples versus apples and oranges versus oranges. And I think that Bernie Sanders is going to come out on top of the deal. I cannot understand why people are complaining about Bernie Sanders traveling to the Vatican. I also think it's unfair. I go back and forth on these. I think it's unfair to say, Hillary was at this $3,000 a plate fundraiser with George Clooney, Bernie was at the Vatican. That's nonsense too, because the way these things work out on the calendar is the way these things work out on the calendar. They did the same thing when Hillary Clinton was meeting with families in Flint, Michigan, and Bernie Sanders appeared on Saturday Night Live. This was an egregious offense by Bernie Sanders, according to the Hillary supporters, because he was appearing on Saturday Night Live. And you know who did this? David Brock. I used to really like David Brock, and it's slimy. It was a slimy thing to do. Yeah, Bernie Sanders met quietly with some of the victims of the Flint water crisis. He met privately with many of those families. And yes, Hillary Clinton, the day that Hillary Clinton was meeting with families in Flint, Michigan, he was performing on Saturday Night Live. I think, though, that I think that that's, making a mountain out of a molehill.